This is Sandra Alexei with my personal muse and Game Changer. And I'm really excited today to have Michael with us, okay? He's a co-author of Game Changer. And we have a really, really great message for you today, considering what's happening in the world with all the different challenges. And Michael himself has been off traveling and got back to Canada safe and everything and is here. And so it's something to think about, because a lot of people are in kind of lockdown or whatever, and what are they going to do with themselves? And Game Changer was the first chapter is a lot about self-discovery, and we have a physical part and we have a spiritual part. It's all about body, mind, and spirit. And it's about taking care of self. And when I met Michael, and Michael, one of the things that I really admire and that you've taught me a lot about is the physical body, okay? And so for me, it's always been kind of a struggle to understand it and to get myself disciplined and everything. My spiritual has been different. So Michael has a story that I would like him to share with you, and it's really a message. And if you can take this video and you can listen to his message, I'm sure that it will really be able to help you during these challenging times. Okay? So Michael, it's all yours.
Okay, so I think that inherently from the time of, my youth, early youth, I've understood the need and the necessity for a human being to look after themselves, to cherish this vessel that we've been gifted from the divine in this incarnation while we're on this planet. And so I've had the ability to look after myself, my wellness, I think in a way that's perhaps a little bit instinctual. Perhaps some of it came from a past lifetime. I'm not sure. I've never been taught. I've never had a mentor. This is just an instinct, an internal drive that I have to always maintain my physical body in a way that it runs optimally. Okay, my goal is to be fully functional until it's my turn to pass over. And it has always been that. Everything I've ever done in terms of looking after myself from the time I've been young, and I've been consciously looking after myself for many, many, many years, has been so that I don't kid myself that I'm going to live any longer than anybody else, none of that kind of thing. But I want to be fully functional and healthy until it's my turn to pass over, whenever the divine has decided that would be. And so I think that I very, very well, I can't even remember the last time I've ever been sick. I am not overly disturbed by what's going on in terms of the virus. I think for me, the financial markets are a lot more concerned.
Yeah.
I don't believe that I would ever get sick from it because I am in optimal health. I've given my immune system the best chance to fight any kind of virus, bacteria, whatever that I might run across. And it's been a lifelong endeavor where my brain has just accepts that that's the way it is. And so I feed my body what it needs. I allow it to do what it does because it has an innate intelligence and how to look after itself, and it wants to. It wants to be in optimal prime condition. That's how your body wants to be, right? If we decide that we're going to overeat or overindulge or drink or do drugs or whatever it is that we do where we don't consciously look after ourselves, we're making it much harder for our body, giving it the right tools. So I've always accepted physical challenges throughout my life. I've been actively engaged in many different types of sports. And at 15, I started to look after myself in a way over and above the sports, where I found ways to make myself stronger, fitter, faster, healthier, all these things that matter to stay functional and injury-free. Over all the years that I've been participating in doing, I've only ever had one time where I fell off a bike, and that was not even my fault. It was a training ride for a triathlon, and I came across some road crews that had just oiled the road, the pavement, and I tried to swerve around them, not realizing that there was fresh oil on it, and the wheels just went out from under me, right? So above and beyond that, I've never sustained an injury. So I've been able to be injury-free. My ligaments, my joints, everything work exactly the way they're supposed to. I'm fully functional, fully able to move my body within a normal range of motion under duress and over long periods.
Right. Michael, can I just ask you a question now? Because when you said when you were at 15, you were doing it. So at that time, I know that you're very conscious of your eating, okay?
Yeah.
What you put into your body. You do a lot of juicing. You are very good with your vitamins. And then you also do physical workouts that you create yourself. So are those some of the things that you started doing more of when you were about 15?
At 15, I joined the YMCA, right?
Okay.
And I started to figure that, okay, like I started with weights, trying to get stronger, right? Because I was doing a lot of athletic stuff anyway. So that's the journey that started with me, right?
Okay.
And then over the course of my lifetime, I've developed and tried so many different martial arts, triathlons, team sports, mostly every kind of team sports that a prairie boy would play, and my own personal workouts, right? My own I move practice, because I move. That's what I call it. I move as I move. And I've kind of come to a place in my life now where I do develop every practice that I do is my own, and I'll do it based on athleticism one time, perhaps animal movements, perhaps speed, because as we age, we forget that we need to move fast sometimes, strength, cardio, balance. There's a number of different things that I'll do depending on what my body needs. And so I know at this point, Sandra, that I'm not guessing so much anymore.
No.
I know what it is that's effective. Also, I have to add into this the diets. We are what we eat, and sure, I think most of us understand the common sense of that. But there's also a component that I also take time to rest.
Right.
Okay? And I realize at this stage in my life now, I'm not going to be an Olympic athlete. And so my iMove practices are designed to be never more than 25 minutes, start to finish. And I can do them anywhere that I am. I don't need to go to a gym. I don't need to have an inordinate amount of equipment or take long drives to get places, right? I don't wait lineups, none of that stuff, okay?
And Michael, here, I want to say that after this one, when you're ready, I would like to be able to, once you're all set up, to show what you mean with your eye moves and what your fitness regime and that would be, because it's very intriguing and I have never seen anything like it. And I think that would be really good if you're prepared to do that. But something gave you that discipline, something within your being. I believe that it was cellular, but then I think there was something that really pushed you to do what you were doing. And what was that?
Well, I guess the fact that it was mine, I think that I realized early that this body was a gift from the divine and that I must look after it properly. And so beyond that, I think it's no different than what anybody else could do if they just decided, when I met you, like you said, it became for you more like brushing your teeth.
Right.
It became part of,
my life.
what a person did in a day. It wasn't onerous. 25 minutes is not a lot in a day to maintain optimal health and wellness. And so I took ownership of that. And as I got sort of into it, it just became really onerous if I didn't do it.
Right. But so when why did you And how did you figure out, or what drove you to do the Ironman?
Well, I think by the time I seen the Ironman, I was accomplished, and I had a really strong relationship with my own body and its capabilities.
Okay.
Okay? And I was always able to be, be the captain on a team, or, had some success no matter where I decided to focus myself.
Right.
When I saw this Ironman being done, my first reaction was, I was in Penticton with a bunch of buddies, and we're sitting around the beer garden, and it was in 90, I think maybe 87 or so, when the Ironman was first sort of being invented.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden I'm in Penticton, and they're running the Ironman Canada. And it was like, my first reaction was, that's impossible. The human body can't do all of that in one day. Are you kidding me? And we would go back every long weekend in September, the same group of guys. And so for the next 2 or 3 years, I was in that beer garden watching these athletes come in, men and women come in, right? And completing this. And so I thought to myself, you know what? Am I capable? Do I have the ability, the discipline, whatever it's going to take? Do I have that? And can this body, eventually complete an Ironman course? And so I challenged myself to that. I accepted that challenge, and I decided to create a goal. And I wanted that in my repertoire as I moved forward. I was about 35 years old at the time, right? And so for me, it was personal. It became something that, in the midst of running a business, raising a family, the hectic life that we all live, I could call my own.
Right.
And so I did. I said, this is mine, right? I don't have no excuses. Either I'm going to make this happen, or or not, right? But it's only going to be on me. And I think that was something that I took and can take the rest of my life. Once you determine that, hey, it's on me, right? I have to make or break this thing. I'm not looking, no one else can do it. I need this, on my own abilities, accept the responsibilities, or I don't.
Right.
But no excuses out of that, right? So every day it was me that had to go and train in order to get this thing done. So in the end, when 2 years later I did complete Ironman Canada in '91, and recognized that I now am an Ironman.
Right.
Something about that kind of mentality that you carry with you the rest of your life. It sort of makes the rest of whatever you have to deal with dealable. Because if you can get an Ironman, or what your Ironman would be for you, whatever that might be,
right,
if you sort of own that, I think it gives you an inner strength and determination, and a commitment to succeeding, and the knowledge that you can. Okay? And so I've just carried that with me throughout the rest of my life, right?
From getting to know you, it's like it's a commitment to self. There's a tremendous amount of discipline. And I also do know that you're not somebody that brags about it, okay? You are a very humble person that just kind of watches, okay? And I'm very observant. I mean, anybody knows that I'm observant, and I watch, and it just gives you this kind of, this aura of self-mastery, of personal power. And so we're always talking about personal power. We're always saying, where's your personal mastery and how are you getting it? And people are going on these weekend workshops, and they're doing this, and they get onto this diet, and they're going to try this and they're going to try that. And at the end of 6 months, or the end of the year, every time somebody does that, Michael, it's hard for them because they haven't succeeded. It's like they haven't passed the exam. So it's to have the discipline and the perseverance to be able to complete it. And that's why it doesn't matter what you do in life, you do it. You keep your body in shape. You're always feeling good. You did teach me about rest, okay? How a body does need to rest. And you taught me how I need to take care of it from a physical point of view, and that you've never been sick, but it also allows you to manifest, okay? And this is a big one because everybody talks about manifestation. And you manifested. How did you manifest it? It wasn't sitting there saying the law of attraction. I'm just going to say these words and it's going to come to me. It didn't happen, Michael. You had to do the work. And it's like anything. And I think part of the law of attraction is that, because I had trained with Jerry and Esther Hicks. And I think a lot of people forgot that. It's just like, oh, it's all going to happen. But nothing's going to happen unless you do it. Okay, and you know that. I mean, as far as running a business, as far as raising a family, as far as finally when you retired and the things you do. But when I see how you do diligently and do your due diligence in your business and a lot of things, I think it comes from the core of the physicality. And I believe it is a cellular thing for you, probably from the past life, that you have a knowing. And I've always said to you, I really hope that one day you will have a camera and you will start sharing some of the stuff that you do. Because like you say, you don't go to a gym, you're highly creative. And some of the moves that, the eye moves, the stuff that I've seen and what you built in Princeton was something outside, okay? And so if you decide one day that you want to do some of that, I still have all the pictures of the outside where you taught me a lot of the stuff, okay? And so now I'm saying that, so from that kind of thing, what could you say to people? Because right now there's a lot of people in, and I'm going to say, people are Zooming, people are they're having to stay in, they can't go to work. There's going to be more alcoholics and more divorces after this, because you need to stop the worry, stop the fear. You have no control over what's happening. So I think that's another thing, is you have control of yourself. So there's where the self-mastery comes. So everybody's going to make that decision when you get up every morning. And hopefully this can be a message. And there's no meditation. I'm not going to sit here with an or a what, okay, or a prayer or anything. This is real life stuff that you got to do, okay? So if you could just kind of summarize the Ironman and what you would say to people on how to take care of themselves during these times, and what you do. Just like, I know your schedule, how you get up, what you do, and if you can just tell them, and that's every day, is it not?
Yeah, it's a lifestyle, but I think the first, I've always accepted ownership and responsibility for my own health.
Perfect.
Okay? That's the first thing. I've never ever accepted that I should give my health to somebody else. I reckon that I know this body better than anybody else, and that I'm best suited to keep it fully functional. Okay, right. So that's one thing. I never do drugs, pharmaceutical drugs, drink. I mean, I don't smoke. So I live a clean life, right? And so that my brain is fully functional all the time, because I'm not clouding it with a lot of foreign substance, okay? I don't wake up with a hangover in the morning. I wake up fully engaged in life and aware. I'm conscious, okay? So I think that's a big thing. And so it kind of feeds itself, because I don't like to wake up. I mean, I have drank in the past. I've had my tequila. I don't like waking up with a headache or a fogginess, all right? And so then I treat myself better. My better self lets me wake up in the morning with a clear head. And right. So it's a symbiotic relationship. Now, the eye moves that I've developed, again, there's no way around. I mean, we all can find 20, 25 minutes in a day close to home that we can do something good for ourselves. And it's on your own personal level. You challenge yourself. You're never in competition with me or anybody else, right? You look to yourself. What are your abilities, capabilities? And so the biggest thing, and I've called it eye moves, the biggest, most important thing It's not how you do it. It's not if you're doing it right. It's not how strong you are, how fast you are. It's that you are. You're I moving. I move, right? I'm moving. So that's the thing is I move.
I like that.
So once we move, all right, that's the key. That's the whole, it's built around that. You move, good things are going to happen. We move safely. We have an ability to kind of accept at the level that we're at, whatever that level is. And then we challenge ourselves a little bit each time out. Each time out, we get a little bit better, a little bit of an improvement, whatever it is. But the point is we're doing it. Okay, we're moving. I move. So you wake up and you say, look, it's time. I move. I got to go move, right?
Right.
Give yourself 20, 25 minutes. And I do have a little, what they call it, a gimbal. It's coming in the mail. And I am going to start to do a little bit of what it is that I do and put it out there, right? Because I'm 65 now, and there's lots of guys out there saying 35 years old, and they're doing, all these great things. But that's okay. I'm 30 years beyond that.
Right.
I'm 65 now, and I'm fully functional and able to do almost the same things I could do at 20 and 25, right? And so for me, that's a doable goal for anybody else who sets their mind to it. It's a better way of living, okay? You think clearer. You're more conscious about your life. You're physically able to move, do, lift, carry. You're more independent. You stay stronger and healthier and injury-free. Now, that's a really nice way to grow old. I don't want anybody looking after me and having to shower me and do that kind of stuff. Right. I don't want that, right? And so, yeah, like I will show some of the things that I do and the philosophy behind it, right? And I don't come up with a heart monitor. I don't care how many steps you do in a day. None of that stuff matters to me, right? What matters is that you move, right? I don't need to know that stuff.
No, but it's really interesting. I always believe it's all about synchronicity and serendipity and that type of thing, is that we've talked about this. I don't know if you want to do it with Game Changer, if you have another platform you want to work on, but I've been listening to a lot of people. So right now, particularly with what's happening in the world, and I don't even want to talk about it because it is what it is, okay, and it's going to go through. There's most fitness places have closed down. Some people are trying to do fitness. They're using Zoom, that type of thing. But I know how you work and how you had your place outside, and yours is totally creative. And the one thing I do, everybody knows about me, when I make a decision to look at something, I have to see all aspects of it, okay? And so yours is totally, totally unique. And I was listening, there's a lot of fitness people that they're coaches and they're personal trainers and they're fitness. And guess what? They have no work. They have no job to go to, okay? And I'm not saying there's anything wrong. It's just that you have embodied it and embraced it, and it's a part of your life. So it's not like, okay, now I'm going to stop and I have to go over here and I have to do this. It's become a part of your life. And so hopefully when you get that, if you want to do some work with that, that would be really nice. But I think that was a really good message for everybody today. And if you want, you can contact us through the YouTube. If you want to, if you have any questions, if they have any questions, they can get a hold of me and I can send them over to you, Michael, because I think you had a lot of really wisdom. It's all about the wisdom. Okay. And so do you want, is there any last bit of words you want to say? And I do want to say, everybody, first of all, you should all have your copy of Game Changer. And the first chapter is all self-discovery. It's reflections. So now you can take it and you can answer the questions and everything. So that's really important. And guess what? What Michael is talking about is a game changer. There's many game changers in your life. What he did, what he does. Okay, so if you just want to kind of put it all together. And
Oh, yeah. I just think that it isn't something that you can push on somebody else to
no,
do. This is something that each, if there's somebody out there watching this, if you decide to make a change in your life, that you would like to see yourself improve, become healthier. I'm still wearing the same size jeans I wore in high school. Okay, bring your body back to where it innately wants to be. Okay, if you decide that you want to take some control and some charge of your health and well-being, like I say, I'm not guessing very much anymore. I occasionally see something and go, oh, I'd like to add that. That's something I haven't seen before.
right.
I'll give it, I'll tweak it. I always try and tweak a little bit, but by and large, I can tell you how to improve yourself as a human being physically. Okay.
Yeah.
And there's a real sense of well-being and accomplishment when you've been able to accept a bit of a challenge personally and come through a challenge at the other side and go, that felt really good.
Right.
That was good. Like I'm feeling good. I'm a little sore. Okay, I'm healing. I'm doing this. I'm doing all right, but I did it.
See,
And at the end of every workout, this is what I do, right? I will do my 25 minutes and I'll go out and stand barefoot in the grass because that's important. There's other things that I do for my well-being, my salt
right.
lamp, you mentioned, the
Yeah.
nice healing music and so on. But I'll stand in the grass, bare feet, connected to earth, and I will look to divine and I will say, thank you. I will say, I'm so grateful and thank you for blessing me the ability to do this, to stay injury-free, to stay strong, okay? And I will say thank you, and then I will pat myself on the chest. I'll go, way to go, buddy. Way to go. And it's a moment that I can smile and feel good about myself.
Yeah.
And so that's something that's part of what is missing. We're not feeling good about ourselves. People should never, ever say anything bad about themselves or think negative about themselves. Find ways to accept these little challenges and come out the other side with your head up and say, way to go. Well done, buddy. I did it. Right? So that would be my message right there.
You know what? The most interesting thing, and I'd like some feedback from people that are going to watch it, is how you started out and you were nice and quite whatever. And it's like, if I could see auras, your aura is raised, your energy is just there because it's your passionate.
Well, it is that. And it is that I know that it is such a benefit and can be to any and everybody. This is not unique to me, but I have built this over many, many years. And so you can, like I'm a guy that, like if I need my truck fixed, I'm not going to try and fix it without going to a mechanic who knows how to fix a Ford truck.
Right.
And guess what? I'm a guy that can help you physically.
Right.
I can save you a lot of grief, a lot of learning, a lot of downtime. I can do those things because over the years, I've probably experienced most of all of those things enough times that I've cut out kind of the loose stuff, the overflow stuff, and I can really target what it is we need to do.
What you've really kind of honed in on it. And I have to say to everybody, I apologize about the phone. However, we are not redoing this video because it is just too good. And I think that's awesome. And it's like you have found your purpose, you found your gift, you found your passion. Because you talked to me about how your work was kind of like, I can't even remember that word. We're not going to talk about it now. We can do another video because I had never heard about it.
Groundhog Day.
Yeah, Groundhog Day. And so I had never heard about that because mine has never been a Groundhog Day because I've always done stuff. But I do want to thank Michael because I'm in my 70s. That's all I'm going to say. And somebody told me something the other day and I went, you mind your own business. I'm 70. You think you're going to tell me what to do? Okay, number one, I will listen to anyone, but I can still wear the same clothes, Michael, that I did when I was in my 20s. Okay, you have helped me work more with my physicality. Okay. I have become more cognizant of my physical, okay, is my, like my purse, for instance. I have this huge purse when I met you, and it's full of stuff and keys and whatever. So I'm more cognizant, I'm more aware. And so if you can take that physical, because we live in this physical world, and it's great to have all these intentions and do all of this kind of floaty stuff and whatever. But the bottom line is, it's touch, okay? And so it'd be really nice when you do get that, and if you do want to share, and like I'm saying to everybody, thank you so much, and we'll be doing some more together. And there's a whole section I do want to do on spiritual tools. And so if you would like to be a part of that, because some of the spiritual tools we have used together. And so we're going to show the spiritual tool, talk about the tool and what it does. And I think this is the perfect time, because I think everybody's going to be in for a while. So there'll probably be 2 videos per week. And I have never, ever not given you at least one, because that's my, what would you call it? That's my discipline. Okay. And I want to thank you so much. And thank you, Ironman. And no, that's good. And I think that's really good. And then once we can get the adults into it, we can get the kids into it. There's no reason why the children can't do it. They've got the children doing meditation. They've got them doing yoga. They've got them doing all kinds of stuff. And it's actually physical. I like it when you talk about the physicality, because it has to be physical. We have to move. There is dance. I'll probably interview somebody that does Nia. I talked to her the other night from Hawaii. Okay. And so that's what Game Changer is all about. It's about self-discovery. It's about the new model of relationships. But the very first relationship is with yourself. Okay. So thank you so much. And if you want to say hello, or so say, not hello. I'm trying to figure out how to pause.
Hello, nice to see you.
Nice to see ya. See you later.
Yeah, no, I'm good. I think we did, we sort of got a little bit of a message out there, and if the right person sees it, it resonates, and that's really cool. You know what I mean?